This is Jolie. The name of my business is Happy Heart Arts, and I am a visual artist, or visual artist, painter. I do some photography. I used to live out in the Midwest, in Wisconsin, but now I am in on the East Coast, and I'm loving it here on the East Coast. Um, since moving, it's almost not quite a year yet. One more month, it'll be a year in my new place. And like I said, I'm loving it here and loving what I'm doing. And yeah, so I've been trying since living here, living in smaller, using smaller space. I've been trying a couple different new things. And one of the newer things that I've been trying, I've always been drawing, but is gouache. Most people don't really know what gouache is. It is a water-based medium like watercolors. It's like watercolors. It activates like watercolors, and if it dries, you can reactivate it with a paintbrush with water, just like with watercolors. It can come in tubes. The version that I have, that I use for what I'm going to use today, comes in tubes like this. And then I'm going to use this. I'm going to actually use some black, maybe a little bit of white, but I'm going to use black colored pencil. I know I'm using black colored pencil. It's going to be black. And the black gouache to create my images today. Actually, one. I'll show you a little bit of what I'm going to show you a piece of what I've been doing lately. I've tried some other things too. I mean, like since moving, I've tried a couple different medium. Instead of normally I do acrylics, but I've been trying a couple different mediums, mostly because I haven't been painting on canvas. So I've been painting on paper, and that hasn't really worked out so well till I switched to using the gouache. So I'll show you a couple of my things I've drawn in the past year. Oh yeah, there we go. Too bright. Sorry about that. That's one. Oh, here's some fun things from earlier. Let's see. He's pencil. Oops. He's pencil, actually, and this is gouache. Let me flip it over. Some more gouaches. Gouache, I should say it's a gouache wash. This is something I did recently, last couple weeks ago, or in a week and a half ago. So there's this smiley guy. Did some fruit. Let's see here. I'm gonna flip. I'm not gonna show you everything. Oh, here's something recent. Not this. These are all gouache, but this is recent. I said it backwards. I forgot my camera's mirrored. This isn't recent. It's probably a couple months back. This was earlier this month. Ooh, I love Hello Kitty. Hello Kitty. All right. Ooh, here's a recent one. All in browns. I'm going to do something similar to this. I'm using a colored pencil and then the gouache to fill in the shadows and stuff like that in the color. A couple more. Here's Sailor Moon. Woohoo! I love Sailor Moon. All right, let's see. Let me show you the one I was working on the last couple of nights. Oh, a couple more. Then I'll show you the one I was working on the last couple of nights. Here's the dude from I used this from a photograph. Some of them I'm turning it the wrong way. This guy I did, he was from a photograph. He was recently done. This girl was not as recent. She's pen and gouache. So that's why the gray lines really stand out on her. Also probably because it's brown and gray. A couple more that I've done the last couple of days. Oops. Yeah, does that work for now? Yeah, it's for bright paper, bright lights. Yeah, cameras don't always work well. It's very reflective, just like they say. Helps with the heat. All right, here's two more that I've done recently. Next to the brown. Let's see. Here we go. The brown and the black for this. Yeah, I really like this. I was trying to get more expression, going on. Alrighty. This little girl was fun to make. All right. And then the one I've been working on for the last 2 days, this one, she's almost done. She's very fun. I like her winking away. All right. So yeah, so I'm going to do something like that tonight. And yeah, so hopefully you'll enjoy what I'm doing. I'm going to lower my camera here a bit so it's easier to see what I am doing. Otherwise, you'll just see my lovely face and not see what I'm working on. Give me 1 second. I'm going to pull up one of my images. I'm going to choose a black and white image actually to make it easier. That's actually one of the easiest things to do with the gouache, doing black and white, especially if it's a wash, because then it's just, I can just focus on the values, the darks and the lights. So the image I'm choosing, it's a person's face and she's looking to the side. Her hair is black, her face is in shadow, the light's coming. Sorry, I'm talking. I talk with my hands, I realize that. She's looking to the side, her face, back of her or behind her is in shadow, and the light's coming from the one direction. So the light's coming here, the rest of her is in shadow, and so creates really good values. Kind of like my face is in shadow here. Hers is more extreme. So, and it's black and white. But yeah, that's the type of thing I'm going for. All right. Like I said, I'm going to actually be working in pencil. All right. So technically, I'm using a technical pencil. And if my art teacher was around from back in the day, he'd be like, "You're using a technical pencil." It's actually at the number 2. But I think I'm so comfortable with it. And I love drawing with pen, the straight, fine line. That a technical pencil feels like that for me. And it doesn't blend really well and all that kind of stuff, but it's all good. Like I said, I use what I'm comfortable with. All right. It takes a while for me to build up what I'm working on. Trying to say here, trying to think of how to phrase it right. I'm tipping this a little bit. Let's see, should I do big? All right. I might need to warm up here. Sometimes it's good to warm up. And yeah, I'm excited and nervous. I haven't done one of these in a while, so it's like my hands are probably like so stiff. But I've been working on my computer all day for work, so I think my hands are a little stiff from that still too. One of my art teachers, his name was Tim. He always talked about doing an exercise beforehand, you know, like to loosen your hands up, you know, that helps. But I'm just trying to just warm up. Alrighty, there we go. Okay, alright, I probably should take my arm out here. Cool. Alright, so that's it for now. I'm going to start on my piece here. Actually, I'm going to prop this up a bit. I didn't always used to prop it up, but I'm realizing by propping up putting things at a slight bit of an angle, like this, helps my piece helps me to counteract the distortion. But sometimes when it lies flat, I've been noticing, at least lately, that my pieces have that slight bit of distortion. So I'm trying to catch it earlier, so I don't have my features locked down and it's like, oh no, I can't fix it. So if I angle it, I can prevent some distortion and wrong angles and wrong sizes for eyes, or eyes are off too much. I don't have to fix it as much. if I angle it now, I won't have to fix it too much later. So that's what I'm doing here. Yes, I know it's not a circle. I know I said, oh, I always start with a circle. Well, half her head's, this is a really big close-up. So not all of her head is showing, so I can't do my full-on circles like I'd love to do. Then I guess it's an ovalish shape here. And then it's going to disappear in the shadows. Should always try to keep it loose. Try to find the edges. I guess the negative space. I always say edges, but yeah, I bet you someone else would probably be like, finding the negative space, negative shape. But I know for me, I don't think I really am. Well, I guess there'd be a big black shadow here and a big black shadow there on this side. But, so if I actually did that, that's what it probably would be, just doing that. But yeah, I'll take back what I said about finding the negative space and the negative shape. I'm technically, yeah, finding the edges. I'll stick with that. That was actually more true. All right, let's see. All right, I know this is the side where the light is coming in at. So I'm making this too strong. But life goes on. I always make use of it. Back when I was in high school, which was, wow, technically this year, well, if I was still in Milwaukee, I would be, I think they said it's going to be our 35th and 35th. Would be the 35th reunion. So yeah, it's been a while since high school, but anyways, I still remember some of the great things that Mr. Zutz taught me back in the day. But one of the things he talked about, that finding the edge, finding your lines. Yeah, it's okay to erase, but before that, you go over and over again until you find that edge, that shape that you were looking for. And you keep going until you tweak it, Then sometimes those lines that you don't want before you erase can be a part of that shape that you're looking for to make. So, yeah, I just kind of, when he said that, I stopped erasing as much, and just let so many of my lines just kind of stay there. When I think that's why I like drawing in pen. I like seeing my work, behind the scenes. Um, if I'm trying my best to remember to stay loose. This I learned from another art teacher, Mr. Decker, Tim Decker, when I went back to school. Tim was a great teacher. Um, showed like how to keep your pencil loose. You can then switch it back to how you normally hold it, but sometimes it's good to just start with like a loose position. So I'm like using, not that I have to use it this way, but I'm using it on the edge here. I'm kind of doing some broad shadow here where her eye, the side of her nose. Noses are the thing I have the most issue with. I hate to say it. When I was a kid, I always just loved drawing eyes. Yeah, and I do mean that. I'd love to say, oh, I drew the whole face. No, no, no. I drew a lot of eyes. I'd love to say I was one of the people who drew Sailor Moon and all the well, Sailor Moon wasn't around when I was a kid, but like had friends who like were drawing animation and stuff like that and cartoon characters. I wasn't. I think I was too much into fantasy, so I didn't actually do that a lot. Alright, let's see here. Maybe listen this up. Da 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 da. Sorry, hopefully you guys are able to see. Oh, there we go. Hope you can see my. Oh. Sorry, my screen went black. Sorry about that. Alright, sorry, I'm trying to fix my screen here. Give me one moment here. Alright, let me tip this back. Alrighty. Hopefully, by the way, where I'm at, there was a huge storm. So hopefully this connection is going through well for everybody to see. Or if people are looking at this later, the recording is smooth. By then, of course, I'll know. All right. Let's see here. I'll get my reference here a bit. I'm gonna turn this a bit so I can get it better. I get my shape here a little better. Though I must admit I am putting some shadows in, which I should not be doing. I was hoping to put most of my shadows in with the gouache, but I'm using, actually I'm going to use my drawing here by not contouring, but kind of using my line to lead me towards the next section I want to work on. I know that that's what I'm kind of doing here, just letting it lead a smidge. I always have issues. Noses, I'm not sure why, and I can feel it. Almost feels like it got it and not got it. I guess I could erase, but I don't feel like it. I want to hold true to my idea. Let's see here. Let's Now I'm going to use scribbles here to, let's see, like, it's almost like, trying to think, contour, but not contour. um, let's see, I'm trying to get this, let's put this other on in. So that's it. Anyway, let's tweak this a bit. Hold on, I need to tip this up a smidge to double check. Checking the double check. Sorry, I am. Let me hold this up a bit or turn this here a bit. I was double checking the alignment on the eyes. I must admit I don't do it often, but sometimes you say turn it upside down to see if it looks aligned up upside down. It's fair. Let me just. There we go. Now it feels much better. And actually, I might just play all this extra scribble. There's shadows underneath her eye. Because one, her face is in shadows. So I might see if I can play into that. Yes, doodling. Now, one of the things people might be like, weird thing about doodling, but I was thinking about doodling lately, and whoops, I just made her eyebrows too bushy there. Oh well, life goes on. I was thinking about doodling the other day, and when I used to do it a lot as a kid, is that one of the things is that when you doodle, or at least now, not necessarily doodle, but like one of the things about doodling, if you doodle like in school or something, you just use whatever you have on hand. And I was just thinking about that, like, it's like, I wasn't picky. The reason why I love drawing with pen is because I doodled with a pen, especially in high school and stuff like that, a lot. College, I doodled. Alright, it was just scribbles. But I doodled all the time with that. And so for me, that's like one of those things that's just very comfortable. Just doodling with the. I'm having issues with the nose. Doodling with the pen is just one of those comfort zones for me. I know, as I work with a pencil. But or like, you doodle on college paper or lined paper, it's like, ooh. It's just how you would do it. Okay, alright. I'm talking so much about doodling. Let me think about something that's not a doodle. I am doing a drawing. Trying to take it up from beyond the doodle. But doodles can be great places for brainstorming and ideas, thoughts. Alrighty. I feel like, oh, wait, hold on. But today I think I had a good start. All right, her hair is, her hair is just these curly things. I know. Um, this is all gonna be black. So I'm being being very lazy. She got black curls. Ooh, and I don't have to worry about eyes today. Ah, I know that sounds. Wait, what? You're back going. Why does she? Am I not worried about eyes? Because it's all in shadows, and her head is turned. So, lucky me, lucky me. All right. No, I don't hate ears. I like ears. One of my back in school when I not high school this time, a college story. Um, I had taken a drawing class, and I remember drawing my friend's brother. He was visiting, and I know. Why was I drawing? Yeah, he was visiting her in college, and I must have been hanging out with him because um, I drew him. And I remember later on meeting her mom, stuff like that. And I remember her mom saying that I had done the ear, even though his face didn't look like him. His ear did. Yes, sorry. Yes, all right. I got a compliment on how I drew his ear. His ear looked a lot like his ear. His mom recognized his ear in the drawing I had made. That actually made me feel so good to know that I had managed to capture someone's ear. I know, it sounds like a crazy story. But anyways, so despite my thing like, ooh, I don't have to draw ears today, it's all good. Next time, next time. This one, like I said, I was doing it because I liked the shadows. So I'm going to try my best to play up on the shadows. Yeah, I switched to my colored pencil here for a bit. Depending upon the brand, some colored pencils are watercolor pencils. And I didn't buy these. I got these as a gift. But I feel like these colored pencils actually do smear a little bit and break down a little bit with water, which is great because then I can blend it. I can blend them in with my wash. Yay! Alrighty, let's see here. Add a little more shadow here. Trying to find my shape. Actually, I don't want to find too much of the shape. Take that back. Finding the shape. I like doing that with the wash. Alright, so here is my initial drawing. Woohoo! Actually, I like it. It's got my scribble feel. I love the scribble feel. I used to, I shouldn't say I used to. I do. I just have gotten away from it. What is that? Drawing with pen and then doing marker. Just haven't done that lately, so I need to get back to that. Oh, wait. Looks like look like something said there was a comment, but no, nothing until sorry about that. Anyways, all right, I'm going to start the wash process. So basically, I'm trying to think. Wash is, what's a great way of doing it? Using thin layers of paint. All right. So most of this is dry, not all. Added some. I must admit, I like using it dry and then activating it. This is actually a traveling watercolor pen. It's, yeah, so the water's in the tube, has this cap for protecting it, and then it's nylon fibers. You just squeeze it a little bit to activate it, and ta-da, or squeeze the water out of it, I should say. So yeah, that's one of the new things I bought this year. Yeah, so anyways, wash, doing layers of color and then just kind of building up on it. I hope that sounds right. I hope that's right. At least that's what I do. I like doing that. I remember doing it ink wash. So back in my drawing class in the day. So I kind of treat it that same type of idea of and with ink, you don't want to start too dark. You kind of just dip it in what and try to do little thin, layers, and then just get darker and darker. Or you can just go dark and then hope it's not too bad. So, anyways, same idea here. Kind of building up, your dark. I must admit, I don't think some of my drawings that I've been doing haven't gotten too dark. This one, but it allows you to do that. One of the things about difference between gouache and watercolor, I talked about the similarities, is that there's the color white. There's the color white in gouache. It's because it's opaque. Yeah, so think of it as opaque watercolor. Nowadays, I think it's making a comeback because all the paint companies like Liquitex and Golden all have what should I say, acrylic versions of gouaches. So something kind of new. Yeah. All right. Let's see here. Let me pay attention to what I'm doing a bit. I do. All right. So remember how I was talking a little bit about negative space or negative shapes. So I've tried to find my shapes in the shadows. I try to mimic the shape in the shadow. So there is a shape of shadow that kind of goes like right here. So I'm going to try. Kind of goes into the eye, a little bit under the eye. It's kind of a triangle, and then it has two peaks. So that's one of the shadow shapes. Her hair is a shadow shape. There's a shape here. So I'm going to try. So that's what I'm going to try to build in. I know it sounds kind of, I don't know if I phrased it right, but that's what I'm going to try to build in first, like some of the shadow shapes that I see. Yeah, eyebrows are easy. That's a shadow shape. Yes, it is. All right. I'm laughing at my own dumb joke. All right, wasn't that good? All right, let's see here. Oops, I need to squeeze a little. Getting a little too dry brush technique. I don't want dry brush. I want shadows. I want lots of black hair. I did squeeze out some paint, so it's still wet. Doesn't have to be reactivated from the tube. See, look at that, how black that is. So I might as well just get that on here. Some of it. I'm scared I'm actually going to destroy the line that I created for the edge of her face. I didn't find it very well. I mean, I did. I just didn't like it. I must admit, one of the things... Alright, so part of the reason why I'm calling my pieces, like I said, I was doing a combination of gouache and pencil, is not just because of the fact that the base drawing is pencil. It's because I go back over it, and I don't just end with like, oh yeah, I've done my pencil drawing, now I'm just going to color it all in with the gouache. If I don't like my lines, that if I didn't create nice lines with my gouache, I'll go back in with my pencil and tweak some of those lines a bit. Can't erase, but I've tweaked them or strengthened them. So it really, for me, is a combination of being gouache and pencil, kind of working together to create what I'm trying to create. That image. It's not just, oh, this is just a watercolor. No, it really is a combination of the two. Probably because I really see myself as a drawer first, and then a painter second, photographer second, painter third. Yeah. Yeah, so pencil doesn't work really well over wet surfaces, but I do it anyways. Trying to fix my edge here. something wrong with their chin. Yeah, I mean, like, you'll be fine to draw on top of this. Much easier when it's, well, dry. Oh, in case you're wondering what type of paper I'm working on, I am using watercolor paper. Woohoo! Um, cold press. No, hot press. No, wait, hold on. Cold press. Hold on. Let me just look. I'll be able to tell you in 1 second. I know I'm thinking I'm using cold press. There we go. Because I like the tooth. I like that little extra tooth that cold press has. Hot press be smoother. You probably can't like a paper that overexposes itself. You wouldn't be able to really see that this has a little bit of texture to it. Mild. You can see the some papers you can see the indents in it more. There are, yeah, you can't really see them, but they're there. Not much of a tooth. It's not like doesn't have a tooth like charcoal paper, or I should say pastel paper. Ooh. Yeah, that's some pastel papers really feel like sandpaper. Yes, and I'm not. It has a coarse texture to it, not just a tooth, a coarse texture. Yes, very. And I'm just now realizing I'm right-handed, and I just painted in my right side of the paper here, and I'm not going to want to go to the left in a second. Going, it's all wet. I have to put my hand where it's wet at. Oh well, life goes on. But just building in her hair, building in the shadows. Back in the day, my mom's day, there was a show called The Shadow Knows. Something in the hearts of men. The Shadow Knows. Alright, yeah. So if this was a TV show, the person would have obviously would have quoted the show correctly, but no. I never could remember quotes really well. Sorry. So, but there was a show called The Shadow. That I do know. Oh, he was a detective. In case you're wondering. And I think he used hypnotism or mesmerism or something like that, trying to get in the minds of the criminals he was trying to catch. Yes, it was a radio show that my mom used to watch back in the day, or listen to radio. Very much like a watercolor, yeah? Alright, I know I got a lot more black. But let's see, I wonder if I can fill in some more shadows. Alright, I guess I'll do the other side of her head here. I'm going so slowly. Well, I should actually just go a little faster so you guys get a feel during this time period what this could look like done. So, yes, sorry. Oh, sorry about that. I'm a very thoughtful painter, meaning I think. I look and think and plot my steps one by one. I don't mean like I plot ahead of time, 10 zillion things early. Nope. I kind of think about it as I'm painting, then I'll stop a bit and be like, what about this? What about that? So I'd usually pause a lot. But you know what? I realized don't have time, so I'm just going to see what happens. I should pretend I'm a plein air painter, painting outdoors. I tried that recently. Did my first plein air class, palette knife, because I make abstracts with a palette knife. So the place where I work at has art classes for adults, woohoo. And so I took my first workshop. Hadn't done that in a while, taking an art class or anything like that. So I I did it. Oh my gosh, my instructors were awesome. And the painting I did in class or started in class came out well, and then I tried it later on my own, making plainer paintings with the palette knife in my yard where I live at. Lots of flowers, lots of beautiful flowers are in the yard throughout the whole season. Um, yeah, I've tried it twice. It hasn't come out well. I think I'm not setting up my subject matter well. Not enough contrast, I bet. Like these, like my photos here. Lovely contrast here, black and white. Um, so I think that's part of the issue. I might not be setting up a good enough composition. Maybe I'm just not patient enough, or maybe I'm just not fast enough because I'm thinking too long about it. Anyways, I don't know yet. It just hasn't worked like I wanted it to work. So, anyway, so I'll just pretend I'm doing a plein air of a person. Meaning I'm going to try to paint a little faster um, and hope and get my shadows down. Because, like I said, I chose a picture that was all shadows. And then I just took my time. Sorry about that. Like, even this is black at this top here. Did I paint any of that in? No. Oops. I still hit my tablet. So let me get more of this in. So that way it's got more of a finished feel to this. But I guess the other thing is, oh, I guess I could have used real water. I forgot about that. I forgot I have a regular paintbrush. I could just use a regular paintbrush and a cup of water. You know, that would have worked too. But I got so used to using my travel paintbrush that, and I don't have to dip this in water. I just squeeze it a little bit more and have that water that I'm realizing that probably could have gone faster too, but I love it. It's like the water's all self-contained. Ah. Alright, oops, some of my shadow here looks funky bunky. Alright, let's get some squeezing a bit here. Sorry, I might look for a second like the screen was going to fall asleep on me. Don't want that. Alright, let's see. So I'm trying to get. Sometimes when I want a little less, let's say I've got it dark, I'll move too much paint and I want to use a little, and it's like I need to lighten something up. I guess, oh wait, I forgot I have a paper towel. I could grab my paper towel, wipe off some of the excess, not the excess, do that. Let's see, squeeze this out a little bit. That helps. That helps to get the excess out. That helps. Or sometimes if I don't want to rub it all away on my paper towel, I'll put it, I'll use it where I want it dark at. Make sure that's there. and then woohoo, let it fade away to where it's light at, and then go and like when it's faded down, put my grays in those spots. Oh yeah, besides wiping it, I can also blot too. Like blot, literally blot. That will help. Yes, her, my blot. All right. So, wow, got some nice grays going on. I realize I need to, need to boost my blacks. That's one of the things I've always been guilty of. Not having really strong blacks. That's for sure. I think I'm always worried about making things too dark. Yeah, I'll just say that, making it too dark. And then you can't go back. It's like, no. But guess what? I'm using, well, I haven't used the white yet. I rarely use it, I must admit. But here's the thing. I'm using gouache, and I'm not using watercolor. So if I made it too dark with watercolor, oops, too bad, so sad. But with the gouache, I should be able to, layer it with a little bit of white to bring it back a little bit. Yes, but also this has really dark darks, so I might be able to get away with making this dark. Let's see what happens by just building up my blocks here. Yes, all right. Sadly, I will not be able to finish this piece during the time that I have. But I feel like I got a beautiful start. I'll probably do something new tomorrow. I will probably finish this more on my own. But I will work on this a bit more. Alright, I don't like what I did to that eyebrow. Oh dear. Hey, but at least I got the black in there. Whew, finally someplace I'm like, alright. Black, 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 black. Yeah, but basically, like I said, I'm building in the shadows here. Alright, so here's the thing. This is shadow. This is shadow. I need to build this in. I need to build more of this dark in. Like I told you, I am taking my time with it. I am cautious about building, the black. I shouldn't be. Like I said, this girl is all in shadow here. Her hair is black. Her face is in shadow. Like her hair blends. You don't see her ear because her hair, her ear blends into the shadow. Her face is just peeking out from the shadow. So, and it's okay to make it this dark. But like I said, I'm cautious about it. Ugh. I got a lot of chaotic energy going on in my painting. Probably because I'm trying to do it fast. So it feels very, not quite how I normally do it. So here we go. Feels good. Alright, let's see here. Leave that eye alone. I'm trying to think if it's. Mm, Alright. Um, oh, this feels good. See that? Change activate. Get the gradations of shadow. Woohoo. This needs to be a heck of a lot blacker. I will probably should use a bigger brush or made a smaller drawing to start off with, but I need to build up my blacks here and then have this, that way I can have more of this come out. One of the great things about using a toned gray paper is awesome. Like like I've toned paper for drawings, like take a charcoal drawing and you take like a vine charcoal, turn the whole white piece of paper, make it all gray by rubbing the charcoal all across it, the vine charcoal, and then you use an eraser or charcoal eraser to take away some of the gray, and then your harder charcoals to build your darks up, starting at a middle place and then going light and dark from there. And then when it's close to done and you need white, you use white charcoal. Or if you need, but otherwise you just erase, blend, and use your harder charcoals, your regular soft charcoals, and your hard charcoal, not your vine, to create your darks and lights from there. Beautiful process of really pulling your piece out of the shadows, like kind of like pulling it out of the stone, you know. Anyway, can be like that. That's how my head it seems like. It doesn't always feel like that, but in my head, that's what it feels like it would be. All right, let's see here. So I didn't have that here. I am adding the shadows, and then having her come out of the shadows. Or maybe I'm pushing her into the shadows. That's it. I'm pushing her into the shadows. Yeah, that's what it is. She's going into the shadows. I might have just messed that mouth up a bit. But alright. But let's see here. I'm going to try to push this a little bit more. So if I get this nice fine line here, like where the center of her head is. Not the center of her head, but like the center line. I'm not sure if even that makes sense to me, but this, oops, that might have been too dark. There's this. There we go. And so I'm pushing it a little because, whoops, I did not have those shadows there that we needed to be. Make this better. It just takes build, layer. Like I said, it's a wash. You build the layers of dark up. series. So it just takes patience to be able, patience, which normally I do have, but I only have an hour, and the hour is about up. So I am going to wrap this up. Oop, I wish I had a little bit more here for eye. Let's put a little something for eye. Might have been too much. Alright, it's not right. I think I just messed up this eye. It's gonna need a little more tweaking because the eye shape is totally wrong. This one, yeah, that feels good. It's not dark enough yet, but hey, I can build it. Anyways, because it needs a little bit more white or reshaping. It's reshaping. That's why I'm using the pencil. Like, it allows me to reshape as need be. Maybe put a more sharp, add a line that I haven't been able to, let's say I don't have, add in a line that it's easy for me to draw in versus me trying to paint in. One, because I'm using a medium-sized brush versus a bunch of different sized brushes, or small enough brush that can do the details. That's probably why I like going back and putting the pencil in. Or just might because I'm more comfortable using the pencil. There's that too. Like I said, I'm a drawer at heart. Yeah, let's see. Let's add a little eyebrow. But, yeah, alright, I'm just gonna stop here. I know it's more sketchy than I normally been making my watercolors, but this also wanted to give more of a finished look to this before I quit, but it's not done. I mean, it needs more work. It's not how I'd want it to look. Like I said, it needs to be more dark. This is a good start. Oh, I don't like her chin. Now I realize I don't like her chin. Great, there we go. Making it a little bit more rough, but anyways, sorry, my screen shut off. That's what it looks like now. She got a fat chin. Oh well, but she doesn't look bad. Alright, anyways, thank you for your time, for hanging out with me. Yeah, have a great evening. Alright, bye.